What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quarring. Came across a clip on the internet that I thought I would respond to because it was probably about as humiliating for this woke reporter as that famous, Jordan Peterson versus whatever that white lady is that probably isn't even on the air anymore. And it was Sargon of Akkad versus, I don't know, some foreigner. News person, I don't know, Narinder Kaur, it sounds as UK as apple pie, I suppose, where she just simply, it's just so good. It's so good. And we're going to talk a little bit about the two most dangerous words to a lefty in the world. And of course, we all know them as per capita. And this person just simply doesn't understand the idea of per capita, and I wanted to just go through this. So this is Narinder Kaur, is a broadcaster and a social commentator, has words in the Times, Glamour UK, and the Daily Mirror. So she's some sort of celebrity, I don't know. And Sargon of Akkad, long time commentator, even a political candidate for a while. If you may know him as Carl Benjamin. You may know him as Sargon of Akkad. Somebody that I've been friends with for many, many years. This is just a clip where you got to see it to believe it.
These are all myths. There's no ethnicity.
The question is, do certain ethnicities, are they more are they more likely to commit crimes? The answer is yes. Statistics prove this. Though the social justice argument against this is that, sure, the per capita is very inconvenient, but more systemic racism, which might have been an argument you could have made 100 years ago, but it's 2025, and this argument just does not ring true anymore. They also the social justice left will try to tie in poverty, and they'll say, well, certain communities, in America, it's the African-American or Black community, they'll say they're more prone to poverty, so therefore they're more prone to crime, even though that has long been debunked. There's sure a lot of poor whites that aren't committing crimes at an over per capita rate, or Asians, lots of poor Asians, are they committing more crimes? It's the excuse makers of the world. Now, obviously, I don't think, let's get in the clip.
They are commits not more crime than the other. No ethnicity in this country commits more crime than the other.
This is why, by the way, the left never debates, because facts literally destroy their entire narratives.
Why would you say don't? Why would because there's no evidence to prove that brown people commit more crime.
Look at the jails, lady. What are you talking about? Are you joking?
Evidence would you look for?
What do you mean?
What would be evidence that there's a difference in criminality between ethnicities?
He's baiting her here.
Sorry, explain that. What do you mean?
Explain what is evidence. He knows the only answer to that is statistics, and he also knows, I'm sure, that the statistics obviously bear out, what he's talking about.
If you were
statistics,
statistics. Like if you were looking for statistics to suggest that one ethnic group was more prone to commit criminal acts than another, what kind of statistics would you look for?
Well, the government official statistics. What I'd be looking for.
But what kind of statistics? What would it show?
I just want to be clear. She knows the answer. She just knows that the answer puts her in a spot that is an unwinnable position.
Prison population, maybe?
Yeah, go on then. You tell me. I don't know.
Then it's definitely that some ethnicities commit more crimes than others.
No.
Muslims and blacks are massively overrepresented in prisons.
White people are overrepresented in prisons.
No, they're underrepresented.
She doesn't know what the word overrepresented means. She also doesn't know what per capita means.
I don't know. That's not true, Carl.
It is absolutely
None of this is true.
No, it's absolutely.
Oops, here's a chart. By the way, thanks to whoever put this clip together. Handy little chart. General population in the UK, 81.7% white. Prison population, 71.8%. Black folks are just 4% of the population, yet it is 12.1% of the prison population. Asian, 9% of the population, 8% of the prison population. And mixed, which is probably Muslims, Arabs, I would guess, 2.9% of the population, nearly 5% of the prison population. Whites and Asians are underrepresented in prison. Blacks and I would assume this is Arabs. I don't know how they really say mixed, but it would obviously include Arabs. Nearly double. Blacks are triple their per capita in prison, and everyone else and the mixed are double.
Making up things.
I'm not making up anything.
True.
Why would I make it up?
Are you saying our prisons are actually a majority black and brown people?
Why does
They are.
it have to be majority?
No.
Why does it have to be majority?
But then what is it then?
Well, it's something like 30% black. But
Right, okay, so then it's not. So therefore it's still more white people.
Yeah,
but there are more white people. Like, it's like she thinks she's got him, but she does not understand per capita.
This is per capita. But out of a population of 3% black, if the prison population is 30% black, it should be 3% black to be accurately represented.
Correct.
Right?
You said it's 30%. I need to see that. I don't believe that at all.
Well,
I don't believe that at all.
Well, according to that data, it's 12%. So Carl is way over his point there, but it is still 3% of the population, 12% of the prison population.
Maybe a prison where there's more
Muslims as well are also massively.
And
here's another hate fact based on religion. Christians underrepresented, 46.2% of the population, 44.6% of the prison population. No religion and or other, 37% of the population, 33% of the prison population. Muslims, just 6% of the population, and nearly 20% of the prison population. Buddhists, 0.5% of the population, but 2% of the prison population. Oh, and Jewish people, 0.5, and they're at 0.57. Uh-oh. But yes, of course, religion. Now, who knows how they report what religion they are and if they converted once they're in prison. I don't know. But again, another brutal hate fact.
So white people, and we're all white, as they should be, because we are a majority white country.
Yeah, but white people are not. They're underrepresented in the prisons.
Right? No.
It is the case.
She doesn't understand.
Why wouldn't it be the case? Like, what are you appealing to?
Because what I'm saying to you is because we're a majority white country.
Yeah, but when you say there's
Obviously
you said there's no difference.
Okay, maybe she really doesn't understand what per capita means. I actually thought maybe she did, and she's playing stupid here, but yikes.
Why would there be no difference?
What do you mean no difference in the
criminality rates of different ethnic groups? Why would there be no difference?
Because we can't target. There's no proof to target that black or brown people commit more crime. There's absolutely no evidence to that. No, there's not. There's absolutely no evidence. As
we've shown, of course, there is evidence. This is the same in America. It's the same thing. If you look at, the disproportionate amount of crime committed by certain, racial, ethnic, and religious groups in America, you can see, obviously, if we go by race, right, and total is 6.8 million. This is from 2019. This is like the most recent data I was able to find. I imagine trends, bear out. These are charges. And then if you look at based on the percentage of the population, it's very, very curious, right? Black or Africans are 26% of those charged. What is the percentage of blacks in America, right? Percentage, it's around 10%, I think, right? 12.4%. Yet they represent 27% of charges, nearly triple. If you look at the crimes that take people's lives, okay, they represent 52% of those crimes. 12% of the population, 52% of people charged with taking another person's life. 53% of robberies. 42% of weapons charges. I'm sure whites crush it in petty crimes. Yep, whites crush it in curfew and loitering, 65%. We're overrepresented there. Now, I only say black because that's all I really have here. Asians, you know, Asians just don't commit crime. Bring me more Asians. You know, you have 1.3% of the population right about in line. They're a little, you know, they burn stuff a little more often, it looks like. They buy more prostitutes. That's not surprising. The rub and tugs, that's probably where that is. But I mean, I am not saying because you're black or non-white that you are automatically guaranteed to commit more crimes. This is a culture issue. And it's one that the left has apologized for years. Here's a classic Reddit answer. Racists like to think black means more propensity for crime. I actually don't. I think it's a culture thing. But anyway, I'm also not racist. In reality, it's black is more propensity to poverty, and poverty is a higher propensity for crime. That's not true. If that were true, how come poor Asians don't commit more crimes? This is obviously, a social justice perspective. There's nothing about being born black that makes you commit more crimes. It is about growing up in parts of that culture that glorify crime, that glorify gang culture. I mean, it isn't racist to point that out. I have black viewers that I guarantee agree with me. It isn't over-policing. It isn't, systemic racism. Turn on the TV and look at what modern black culture is, or Arab culture, to be honest with you. I mean, you want to see Arab culture. Just today, by the way, Pakistan has said that a ban on child marriage is deemed un-Islamic by Pakistan's religious leaders. I don't know if you can call religion a culture, religion. It seems somewhat interchangeable, but maybe that's debatable. But my point is, there are culture problems, and we don't do any. We can't like say, hey, maybe we shouldn't be marrying 9-year-olds. If half of the country is like, that's racist, you can't say that. That's just, everybody should agree that that's wrong. Everybody should agree that there is a culture problem that leads to these huge disparities of crimes by race and religion. You can say that and also hold true, like I do, that there's nothing inherently about being black that makes you commit more crime. Or Arab that makes you commit the crimes that they do, right? It's their religion, it's their culture. And until people accept this as fact, like any normal person would, you're going to get morons like this individual, this woman on this debate, embarrassing themselves on national TV. It's entertaining, yes, but I prefer to work on the problem. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.